Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your support of the channel. I always do appreciate that. We have Captain Carberry in his T-26 E5 Tier 8 Premium American Heavy Tank. And he is here on aircraft carrier. No, it's called Glacier with an aircraft carrier. Because I don't know why the Russians, Belarusians, let's call them wargaming. Why do they love ships on the ground? I don't... Ships on the ground, ships on... This appears to be water, but somehow the ship is up on a big chunk of ice hanging out of the frozen water. I'm having a hard time figuring that one out. Anyway, it is what it is. We got a big, heavy push up here into the northwest. This looks pretty good. Captain Carberry has decided to come across this, and he said, hey, I figured with my decent speed I could head to the north brawling area, get early lights and side shots. And I think, okay, not bad. And we're cruising across here. We're going to eat a shot. Look, if you were going to cross that opening, you should have done it immediately when you got there, instead of kind of waiting and then pushing. You were going to expose yourself. The Scorpion may have beat you anyway, but he certainly had time to get in position by you pulling up here and stopping and then going. So if that was the intention, or side scraping and proving no one's there, but usually there is someone there waiting for somebody to do what you just did. So some hit points you probably didn't need to lose right there. So he says he's going to look for side shots, be a gadfly, and try to annoy people. And that's a good idea, because this thing can pop out and pop in, has a relatively accurate gun. And unfortunately, he rolls in and finds the 263. Gets another shot into him, but that time, thankfully, only a track. And he's got quite a big stack right there. He's got him in a mill, a Tiger 2, and the 263. So that's not really someplace that a T-26 E5 wants to poke out on. Looking at the rest of the map, nobody really went to the middle, so an option here for you would have been to go to the middle. There's only a 155-51. Yeah, it hits hard, but not as hard as any of the other, probably less hard than any of the other Tier 8 artilleries, and you might have been able to control that middle. Nobody went there. Now that's a bit of hindsight, but I think I would have considered that with this tank and this setup as I'm looking at the teams that are here. You might have been able to, with your good depression and good turret, to have done some work there and maybe given the enemy some consideration as they all kind of piled up onto the carrier right there. So just one option. Looks like the STG is going to flex over towards that way, and your team's got a little lead, and now they don't, so now it's 2-2. And as I've been talking, you're just kind of rocking back and forth here and thinking. Just sitting here, seeing what's going on. Got a guy up on the carrier. And the reason I'm sort of pausing here and letting you think about this is because one of the things you said is, I'm going to go in here and look for side shots and be a gadfly, which means you want to try to get out there, nice job there, and start getting shots. You want to create those shots. There's guys up on the carrier, at least there was a moment ago. You could have been back there looking to take him out, especially while this big stack of red guys isn't doing anything. Now look what they're doing. The red guys are thinking about moving in. And we're sort of holding this corner. Not a bad idea there. Unfortunately, it bounces. The IS-6 is side scraping behind you, so what you want to do there is, and your camera's really close in, so I'd be doing this, and I'd have the camera out here, so let's talk about camera work. That way I can see the IS-6. I can see the enemy. I see the IS-6 side scrape out, and I can see if the enemy shoots at him, and if they both shoot at him, then I come out there and try to get a shot. Now the problem is, that's in a mill. So even if they both shoot at him, he's going to have a reload by the time you get out there and take a shot. So maybe this isn't the best place to be poking. What about these guys? Back here with the 130, the IS-6 is playing his games. It's an okay idea to sit here and try to get shots out, but the mill complicates that poking considerably. Unless you know it was his last or fourth shot, you don't want to be poking out there on those guys. So why not go back here and start trying to clear off this carrier? What you got is a big problem. You've got a lane of fire from the carrier, you've got a lane of fire from over here, and you've got a lane of fire from over here. So let's clear one of these lanes of fire out so we have a little bit more freedom of maneuver back here. Get rid of that Progetto 46 as he continues to poke. Unfortunately, your STG died, and now we've got to worry about, looks like, a T-55A coming up. Now we've got a third tank pushing up over here. And just trying to get that timing down is not going to be easy. Boom, you pop out, you get hit. That's not a surprise. We lose another 299 hit points. So we're just not going to win this corner. Now what do we have? Let's zoom out again. Again, you should be checking and zooming out. Well, it looks like the 55A has moved up to there, so he's still a problem. And some of my tanks have pushed in. All right, so we're trying to change the fight a little bit, but the problem is these guys are going to get shot in the back by this T-55A if somebody doesn't get in there and start trying to work on that guy. And it just feels like right here we're a little bit unsure what to do. Now 705 is a strong tank. He gets in there and he's going to start working on what are some tier 8s. Coming in here, this guy doesn't have a shot, so good on you. You get one on him. And you are doing what you said you wanted to do, but you're doing it a little bit slowly. So you're reloaded and not really any thought or actions to make this thing happen. The mill just moved, so here would be my plan. Is the 55A still alive? Well, I'd have been back there trying to get rid of this 55A. He needs to be dead, so either do that, and I would be looking to push around this corner. And two ways to do it is around this corner in front of you, or just come back around this other way. Get up here, get rid of this 55A, come around here and help this 705. So 705 is getting circled by an IS-6 of all things. Just push in there and help that 705, the IS-6. Come on, baby. Oh, no, now we're going to stare at this. And finally we decided to go after the 55A, but your 705 is the guy that needs help. He's getting attacked from multiple directions. There's 3 of you sitting back here, 4 of you all staring at the 55A. He exposed himself. You're not quite ready. And is he going to do it again? I don't know. But meanwhile, the 705A push, the only thing that was really going to start to break this open is getting shut down. There we go. Finally get that guy. Now push for... Oh, nope, 705's dead. And it's pretty much all over but the shouting right here. You guys had a pretty good advantage, a nice force down here. And even if it wasn't an advantage, it was at least an even force. Definitely had the ability to beat these guys, but nobody was very creative with the angles. Now that's an interesting thing. You are going to out-reload a 50 TP every time. You shot, he shot. I just started going at him as I reloaded, so that right when I was reloaded, I got my shot off, and then I backed up. And maybe if I hide long enough, and the fact that I've got that 130 there, I can get a free shot without taking another one. You end up getting it, but much later than you probably should have. There you go, and that's what you're doing right there. Getting inside his reload. Here comes the 112. Swinging around. There we go. Get another shot in there. The 112 comes raging in, takes a big hit. He's not going to last long. And even so, we're just about to break this thing open. Just a couple hits, maybe the 2... Oh, push in there, man. Get that guy. And this is going to hurt, isn't it? Puts his attention to you right there, takes you down. It didn't really matter, I don't think, at that point, because more than likely a loss. Another question that Captain Carberry had was, should I have gone back to Cap? I don't think so. You needed to win this. You guys were invested here. Just a little bit more aggression on y'all's part, getting rid of that T-55A, or at least keeping them busy enough that you could move a few guys up. Couple opportunities for you to get in and support guys with different angles right there. Ended up with 1,972, not a bad tally. Overall, not great, but not bad. And I think just a little timid on trying to create your own shots right there. I think a lot of times we get into these big brawling areas like this and we grab our one corner and we try to work that corner as best we can, and we don't think about the little micro repositions and the micro flanking that we can do. This is a great example. This little brawling area has multiple kind of slightly different angles we can take, ways to move up to complicate the enemies poking and popping out. If they own the carrier, that really hurts us, and if we can get rid of the guy in the carrier that's adding that third direction of fire to us, that always helps us out right there. Going all the way back to the middle may be an opportunity there for your tank to get to the middle and try to lock that one down. Probably, though, based on what they sent there, eventually they would have beat you if they'd have just come up and over and taken you down. You obviously lost in the south. That didn't help. This was likely a loss almost no matter what you did, but you probably could have got a lot more damage playing this area down here a little bit better. All right, man, thanks for sending it in. I appreciate it. Appreciate the question. And everyone else, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments, and we will see you.